Hi there, and welcome to the News Q Chapter Review, the only in-world chapter review on YouTube. I'm Straw Hat Lucas for The Last Ark, and right now I'm circling Egghead Island in an airship, waiting to see what Yonko of the Sea, Straw Hat Luffy, does next. But while we're waiting on that, we do have some information that has come out. Picked up last week from field reporters Adam Jinrakai and 3-Day Trip, we learned that King Nefertari Cobra sought counsel with the Five Elders. Now, we don't know what exactly happened in that room after the small chat we saw where he discussed Queen of Alabasta 800 years ago, Nefertari Lily. We picked up this week from field reporters Din Din Kushi and Cube of the Red Sea. Let's see what they said first, shall we? Din Din Kushi said, "Intense, unexpected, lots of questions after this, mostly surrounding Emu and their ability." I like what he said. Let's see what Cube of the Red Sea had to say. Love it. Maybe one of the biggest chapters yet. And I'm curious about what Cobra was going to say when he said part of the first 20. Was he going to say the first 20 kingdoms, or was that a red herring? We might not know yet. But let's dive in to chapter 1085, The Death of Nefertari Cobra. We pick up exactly where we last off, and Nefertari is now in the presence of Emu-sama. Emu-sama is quite menacing, I might add. When I first started reading this, I immediately was like, ooh, that's a presence. Emu immediately asked Cobra to say the full name of Nefertari, and that is when we learn that Lily was Nefertari D. Lily. That is a bombshell. We also learned that Lily was responsible for the spreading of the poneglyphs throughout the world. Was she part of Joy Boy's crew? Was she Joy Boy? What do we really know about the Void Century? Nothing, because every time we get answers, it's more questions that slightly only answer them. Sadly, Emu-sama then unleashed a shadow attack onto Cobra, striking him. That is when Sabo, the Flame Emperor, broke into the chamber, trying to save Nefertari Cobra. Now, what I'm going to say next might shock you guys. But the Five Elders are actually demonic shadow demons. We have no idea what that's about. Is it devil fruit powers? Is it some kind of other powers? Does it relate to Emu-sama's powers? The world might not know, except we probably will soon. When Sabo busted into that room, he shot off a flame attack right at Emu-sama. And, not surprisingly, Emu deflected it. It almost looked like they ate it. Might be telling of their powers. Now, sadly, as we all know, King Nefertari did not make it out of that room alive. It's a tragic day for the Alabasta Kingdom and a tragic day for the whole world. Emu-sama did not take this lightly and obviously sent the attack at Sabo as well. Luckily, he escaped alive. Unbeknownst to everyone else there, Wapol was also listening in. Now, Wapol, clearly shocked by what he had just seen and actually rather upset by the death of King Cobra, took off and started munching through the walls to escape. It is here that we find out Vivi had been taken by CP0. And luckily, Wapol's rampage went right through that room, allowing her and him to escape together, which answers the question of how they got together when they ended up on Morgan's ship. Now we just need to figure out how they ended up with Morgan's. Now that we finished the recap of the chapter, let me say this. This was probably the most intense chapter of One Piece I've ever seen. The events that have taken place here are nothing to glance at even. Because I don't want to glance at them. Because maybe if I do, Emu-sama will come after me. With the knowledge that Vivi and her family are all D members, this changes some things in the story. Does that mean her and Luffy are slightly related? Did they belong to the same clan at some point? Like I said, when we get answers to one question, it only opens up doorways to more questions. Overall, though, I think this chapter was very intense, the pacing was perfect, and I can't wait to see what happens next week. Who's that knocking? Rob Lucci! We might see it next week.